one. It's Crazy Dr. Krause back with his leopard mask on. I had trouble trying to get it on at the end of the last segment, so I thought I'd start this one with it on again. And we'll see if I can get it back up at the end of the segment. Skin, that's what we're talking about, which is a system as well as an organ which covers our body. So it contains our body fluids and it protects us. If you look on the H2O sheet, under integumentary system or skin, it'll have C and P. Contains body fluids, and P protects us. So if somebody loses a lot of their skin, a significant body burn, the initial concern is the loss of body fluids, body water. And that can cause life-threatening or fatal hypovolemic shock. So stabilizing their fluid balance, creating or reestablishing the homeostatic balance of fluids in the body is the first concern. And then worry about infections. You got to take care of the hypovolemic shock or protect against hypovolemic shock initially. Skin is also a system which is an organ. It's the only system in the body that's one organ. It's the only organ in the body that's a system. It is the largest organ of the body, not in the body, but of the body. Largest organ in the body, inside the body. I know I'm splitting hairs here, but it's kind of fun. Largest organ inside the body is the liver in the abdominal cavity. Largest organ of the body is the skin or the integumentary system. And there's a skin flow chart, figure 7.1, on page 64 in Super Simple that, again, reinforces the rule of two. You've got skin and it's got two layers, dermis and epidermis. Dermis has two layers, papillary and reticular. Epidermis has thick and thin layers. So in thick skin, palms of the hands, things are shaped the way they're shaped because of what they do, so we need more protection. Soles of the feet, same deal. There'll be a fifth layer to the epidermis. In the dermis, you've got a variety of things, including receptors, Meissner's or tactile corpuscles, lamellar or Pacinian corpuscles, free nerve endings, hair follicles, sweat glands, as well as oil glands. Sweat glands are also called sudoriferous glands. You need to take a look at figure 7.2, which is a cross-section of the skin showing epidermis and dermis and subcutaneous layer, or what used to be called the hypodermis. We now look at the skin having two layers, dermis and epidermis, and underneath that is the subcutaneous layer. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the hypodermis, underdermis, hypodermis, hypo, under, hypodermis, and a hypodermic needle. I wonder where a hypodermic needle goes. Again, common sense, guys. The names tell you a whole lot. Understand stuff, and you can minimize your memorization. You need to know the layers of the epidermis in both thick skin and thin skin. So from deep to superficial, in thick skin, you've got stratum basale, stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, and then stratum lucidum, only found in thick skin, not in thin skin, and the stratum corneum, that thick layer on the outside that provides added protection and helps hold water in. So know those four layers in thin skin. Thin skin also has hair. Thick skin doesn't. We don't have hair on the palms of our hands or the soles of our feet. The epidermis, remember, is avascular. The dermis is deeply vascular or richly vascular. Layers of the epidermis, guess how many there are? You go, 2. Papillary layer, which is papillary. It's got like little papules sticking up, and the reticular layer. You need to know what makes up those two layers, and also need to understand the subcutaneous layer, which is deep to the dermis. Dermis is known as the true skin. Subcutaneous is composed mostly of fat or adipose tissue. And then there are epidermal appendages or derivatives. Even though they may go down into the dermis, they all derive from the epidermis. And that would be hair, as well as nails, sweat glands, and there are two types of sweat glands, apocrine and eccrine or merocrine, and you need to know the difference between those two. Eccrine or merocrine sweat glands located throughout the body, involved in body temperature regulation. Apocrine located only in certain areas and associated with sexual attraction, with the production of pheromones. Sebaceous glands, oil glands. Remember, those sweat glands are also called sudoriferous glands. You'll see those terms used interchangeably. Three types of burns, you need to know those first, second and third degree. First and second are partial thickness. They don't go all the way through the skin. That is, first degree will only involve epidermis. Second degree will involve epidermis with some blistering, maybe down a little bit into the dermis. Third degree is full thickness. It goes all the way through the dermis and down into the subcutaneous layer. Third degree burns are painless because they've fried all the nerve fibers. So just to clarify, first degree partial thickness involves only the epidermis. Second degree partial thickness, entire epidermis and some part of the dermis. And third degree full thickness involves the entire epidermis, dermis, as well as into the subcutaneous layer. Know what the rule of nines are. Don't memorize the percentages, but know the concept of the rule of nines used by emergency personnel to estimate the amount of area burned on a patient. And then there are three types of skin cancers that you need to be aware of. Basal cell carcinoma originating from the stratum basale, squamous cell carcinoma originating from the stratum spinosum, and malignant melanoma, which is a real killer. Malignant melanoma is really serious. Any cancer is serious. But of the three skin cancers, malignant melanoma is certainly the most dangerous. And know whether they invade locally or whether they're malignant. That is, do they spread to other areas of the body? So that's the skin. And I think, there you go. Look at that. Whoops. It's hard to do things when you're looking at things on the screen like this, because this side looks like this side, and this side, and this side. There we go. All right. Rawr. Kraus out. See you next time. Stay safe out there.